This semester, we've been really fortunate to have a collaboration between Professor Matthew Ozawa and myself, his opera studio, and my Baroque Chamber Orchestra to produce an opera by Marc-Antoine Charpentier, one of the preeminent composers of French Baroque music. His opera La Descente of Orpheus, enfers, the Descent of Orpheus to the Underworld. This classic story is one that's been set many times, Monteverdi, Gluck, and others, but this one is not performed as much, but it's truly a masterwork.
I am excited about this production for so many reasons. Most importantly, I think that it is a wonderful opportunity for our students at the University of Michigan to provide them the ability to learn about historical performance practice, both musically, but also in the staging and movement environment.
Historically informed performances, or for me personally, I like to say historically inspired performances, it's becoming just part of a musician's training. At least you're gonna know something about these principles. Whether it becomes the focus of your career, that's less likely for most people, but it does call out to a certain kind of person. So having these things, these instruments, offers again like the beginning of a career path to a whole new subset of students who thrive on this kind of music and this approach to music making. The orchestra for the Charpentier is about 10 people, 12 people. 2 Baroque violins, 2 recorders, guitar, theorbo, and harpsichord, and we actually have 3 viola da gambas. The viola da gamba is similar in range to a cello, but it's also related to the guitar. It has 6 strings instead of 4, and it has frets. Also, the bow is held in a different way. It's a very different sound, subtly different than the cello, and the viola da gamba is one of those things that's just so indicative of French Baroque music. So that sound is so important. We are using a lot of instruments from the Stearns Collection. It's been a really important partnership actually ever since I've been here. It's a vast collection of instruments. It's accessible online. You can see images of almost everything. And I think it's going to continue to grow in its connection with students and faculty here. This piece was written for a pitch a whole step lower than modern pitch. With our instruments, we're not able to go a whole step lower, but we play a half step lower, which gets us closer to what Charpentier had in his ear. You wouldn't believe that a half step could make such a difference, but it really makes a big difference. Not just the experience of the singers, but the audience. You can imagine things being lower just creates a different kind of resonance. And if we change that, we're really changing the concept. And it's subtle, but it's important.
So the way that I'm staging this is honoring the Baroque practice tradition, however, modernizing the way that it feels and looks. As a director, I am Asian American, half Japanese, and a lot of my directing is influenced by Asian forms of movement and aesthetics. In addition, I have a background in operatic directing and that tradition, and so I sort of like to marry the two together.
As a part of this process that Matthew and I put together, one of the culmination points of the music was hosting Paul Odette and Ellen Hargis for a series of master classes. And they're both legends in early music. They both knew the piece intimately, which was incredibly helpful. And coming from both a singer's and an instrumentalist conductor's point of view was really helpful for the students. Those master classes, which were funded in large part by the Sally Fleming Masterclass Fund, were a really important part of this whole project. This project has brought together students that maybe normally don't always get to work together, of an opera studio class focused on this repertoire, and Baroque Chamber Orchestra that occasionally does things with 1 or 2 solo singers, but never been involved in an opera production. So it's great for them when they take steps after graduation and they're involved in opera productions. They're ready for the challenges that might come. So I think it's going to be a helpful experience for them to have.